Say shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Rachakadosh Bakatham. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations to whom subscribe to this truth to you. I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh South out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Basically, this is just a quick testimonial, quick hit. Through the spirit, I did a video earlier today on regards to the recent crime wave in the city of Cleveland. And, you know, it's nothing new because crime's been going on in other cities. Prior to this, I mean, crime has always been around, and you know, the scriptures talk about, you know, we'll know the times we're in because of the increase in crime. So I did a video on this, and you know, I was born in Cleveland, but I was raised in East Cleveland. For those that in this truth that are unfamiliar with the city of East Cleveland is the city that basically when the Rockefellers, if you're in this truth, you should know about the Rockefellers. That family basically you know, that's like the American branch of the Rothschilds, but anyhow, basically they when they became billionaires, they like built their first home, like when they became billionaires, off of the company Standard Oil, was in East Cleveland. So East Cleveland was like the first, like, because the richest person supposedly in America you know, was John D. Rockefeller. You know, basically that was, he made his first home. When you go into the research of it, you know, in actuality, like pretty much everybody that was part of Standard Oil, well, not everybody, you know, but like, of course, the board of trustees and the people that was like the higher ups of the company, they all had wealth. You know, the house that I grew up in, it was a mansion, you know, which, like, the house I grew up in, it had maybe like, I want to say it was like 8 bedrooms, and that was just one house because they took a mansion and broke it up and sold it individually, you know. So out of that mansion, they was able to get like 8 houses. So just imagine how big that was, you know. I used to deal with certain people that, you know, of course we all grew up in the same neighborhood, so the way that the house was, like, it was, they house basically had the what's that shit called? Not an intercom, but it was like a bell, so they could hit that button and then the staff would know. So this is how big this motherfucking house was. But not to digress, because the point of the lesson is I just seen something spiritual. The video I did earlier prior was about the increase in crime. So I'm riding through the city and I happen to go through East Cleveland, but I'm not in East Cleveland. I'm like on the border of East Cleveland. It's a gas station that I'm very familiar with from being in the world. Something just had me to stop and go get something out of there, you know. And as I'm going in there, it's a guy and a girl. And they're both Jake, of course, you know, because East Cleveland and Cleveland, you know, primarily are Jake, you know, impoverished Jake. So I go to go get something out the gas station, and you know, she up there, you know, you could tell they young, but they probably was like maybe 16 to 18 or something like that. But long story short, the chick, she, you know, she got these Daisy Dukes on, and she, you know, and she asked me like, "Do you got $1?" So I'm like, "No, dude, silent. I ain't even paying attention." Now you can see they together, but they not really together, you know. Like, he off leaning against the wall. She is like, what is them called? You know, when they put them poles in the ground, you know, it kind of like barriers. So if somebody was trying to ram into into the storefront, it's that barrier there, so they couldn't get in. Anyhow, she's leaning on one of those. So I'm like, "No, I ain't got no dollar," which I didn't. I'm using cash. I mean, I'm using a card. So I go in and didn't even have what I wanted, but it was spiritual that I went anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going in there to try to get something, and they didn't have what I wanted. And as I leave out, I never looked and paid attention to dude. Dude literally got an axe. Jay got an axe. And I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? That's how hard up they is for bread. Now, I don't know, you know, what they call themselves doing. You know, it's going on 11 now, so it's not very late. You know, these areas right here is not too many cameras, but you know that could have been a very ugly, sticky situation. And just, you know, I literally just did a video about the crime increasing. Like Jake, you know, the scriptures talk about in Ezekiel chapter 7, I think it's verse 5. It talks about evil and only evil coming, and evil is a compound word. Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad. Bad times are approaching. Call Loyim Layah Bashimel Shah that nothing that took place, but show you how spiritually discerned I wasn't at that moment. But then the Spirit revealed it as well. You know what I mean? Like, because like I said, I'm not. You know, that's why you got to always be circumspect for real, especially in this truth, but the world period. But you know, if Jake that desperate, I mean, you know that's how you know they was young, because this dude he ain't got a 22 pistol, he ain't got a knife, he got a motherfucking axe and in front of a storefront, ready to do something to somebody. And then I pull over because the Spirit jumped on me like, do a lesson about this. So I pulled over to this empty storefront, and as I'm about to do the lesson, I see him walking down the street with the girl. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, at the end of the scriptures talk about, like 2 Ezra chapter 5, talk about the incontinency and the young men, you know, women, mistress women giving bringing forth monsters. Although that goes into you know, the deformed babies and whatnot, it can be applied also to the thinking of Jake today, you know. And that's how you know 2/3 ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be in the spirit of, you know, let the Lord provide. No, he about to do something carnal, and he probably gonna get killed. Cause, you know, just like he thinking like that, you got young Jake thinking like that. Like, but they got them pistols. You know, man, Jake ain't trying to fight shit now. I just told you, like, they jumped on the older Jake just for the fun of it, but they had pistols. You know? And like I said, it just was spiritual too, because like I said, that's for all brothers. They need to, you know, throw up prayers coming and going, and you know what I mean, anoint your children and yourselves, and you know, just stay circumspect, because you know, we just doing, and it's so spiritual again that I personally seen this. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, the way he had it, you didn't see it at first, like but just so happened the Lord gave me the eyes to see it. I happened to sit there while I'm starting my car. You know, you let your car warm up a little bit, and just so happened the Spirit jumped on him to pull the bitch and show it. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he hid it again. So if you thinking like that now, what happens? And that just show you what type of spirit individuals period gonna be in. Especially Esau. Esau already a violent man. He don't give a fuck about Jake period. So what you think he gonna do? But if Jake thinking like this, like, just, you know, maybe that's his little sister, maybe that's his girl. You know what I mean? And again, a 2/3 that don't have no understanding or belief in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, what is they gonna do? They gonna resort to carnality. And that's why, you know, it talks about you know, 2/3 being joined on to Esau, because they in the same mindset and mind frame as him. You know what I mean? Again, they not looking at anything spiritually. Like right now, we taking our licks along with this economy, because we live here too. Or we're in captivity here still, you know what I mean? But we are, like, the things that, you know, 2/3 and heathens and everybody that's a part of America are subjected to. We are getting, you know, we dealing with these same things as well. The difference between us and the average American is that we believe in a higher power. We're hoping that the Lord is gonna protect and shield us from the wrath that he's about to have to come, you know. But yeah, you know, like I said again, that just really made me say, damn, you know what I mean? Because it was deep how all of it took place. So you know, again, it's multiple scriptures talk about, you know, prior to, because like I said, it's on the cups of East Cleveland and Cleveland where this gas station at. So I was gonna go up to East Cleveland, but did something I seen, like it was a whole bunch of police cars and ambulances and shit. So I'm like, damn, you know, I took it already. That's spiritual sign. Don't go up that way. And then I turned around and went to the store, And then that happened. Now, like, I'm riding past this area, and like they got the street completely blocked off. You know, they're like motherfucking 5, 6 police cars. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm trying to get over to this other side of the street. I know what I'm gonna do though. But so yeah, with that all being said, this is the time to, put your pride aside and come back to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because the Lord is delving out judgment, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have more judgment to come, because at the end of the day, that's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the scriptures talk about, everything be fulfilled, and the scriptures talk about it's going to be a lot of violence, so, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, like I said again, stay prayed up, you sincere believers, and hold on to this thing fast, because, again, right now, if you're not in the spirit of prophesying, when you literally seeing how close everything is, you ain't a true believer. You know what I mean? If you ain't in the spirit of prophesying and chatting down this wicked ass place, you not in the prophet spirit, and you probably are not a true believer. I mean, we go through the spirits of doubt and depression and all that. These are all spirits, but at the same time, that's just like the elders made a decree, and then I listened, and the elder said, the elder Apostle Tahar made it, and he said that was really for the camps in New York, as far as a video a day, but at the same time, we all of one body, so everybody should be in the spirit of trying to do a video a day. This is my second one, but to show you how those are truly the men of the Lord, they not only are telling us to do it a day, but they're doing 1 and 2. I mean, I watched the Elder Gabar do like 3 or 4 in a day, like the Elder Apostle Tahar, So that's what you got to learn and love and respect. You know what I mean? Any real leader is going to do something, and it ain't just they giving orders. They doing the same thing they telling you to do, because this is going to benefit you at the end. You know what I mean? And I like I said, again, I'm at all to a degree, because it's like I just did a video on this shit, and I'm not surprised. I grew up in the world, and certain brothers built a certain kind of way for a reason. You know what I mean? So like the one brother said, he said you had to do good at school before you can sell a bag and shit. You know what I mean? Like, so the Lord had us walk our walk for a reason, to make us into who we are. But so I mean, like I said, you seeing trends, and like, I know niggas in the world that can see that, what's going on as far as certain shit, as far as like the crime increasing and all that. But to do a video about this, as far as crime, and then to see Jake about to commit a crime, like, I mean, this nigga is with an axe. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, the spirit probably, I didn't see it till afterwards, and then, like, say, I mean, I didn't even think to say something to him like, oh, Jake, here, or any of that. Because, like, you feed a fish for a day, he eat for a day. But you teach him to fish, or you give a man a fish, he eat for a day, but you teach him to fish, he eat for a lifetime. Like, at the end of the day, you resorting to carnality. I could have probably, try to figure out a way to give him Jake a little something, but Jake ain't about to. Like, if you that carnal, you know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at him like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, what Jake was gonna do, like, and then just imagine, like, a lot of Jake got guns. A lot of people got guns. You gonna run up on the wrong person with that, and probably and maybe the spirit, because he left like right afterwards. So it was like, maybe he was gonna try and get me, because she asking you. Maybe you go pull out some money and he gonna hit you with that bitch. I don't know what he was like say, but he left right after I left. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If it's your will, like the scriptures talk about whoever perish being innocent. So the Lord get him judged, he judged for a reason. So I'm gonna end the lesson with that. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Allah, like Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem. Cock of the fucking thumb. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. I say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua that are listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and mawatla ball. Shalom.